come down. All right, let's put one foot on the ball. Okay, so make sure the whole of your foot is around the ball. You're not digging your heel in, because if you do, it's a little bit easier. So just push it until you're in a good start position. Now, the whole point of having our foot on that is to keep this leg still. So that's our focus, not what the other leg's doing. All right, bring the other leg into a tabletop and then up towards the ceiling. So we're going to come straight down, pushing with the heel, and then we're going to come to do a half circle back up to the top. So it's like you're drawing a letter D or a mirror image of it, depending which leg you're doing. So what we're watching out for, it's not so difficult when the leg comes down, but when it comes out to the side, this other leg really starts to wobble. So you want to really try and engage those muscles in the thigh and use your core muscles not to let the hips swing side to side. Just to throw another element in, let's add the opposite arm. And they're both going to go back, and they're both going to do half a circle back to the top. And now my knee is really starting to move all over the place. I'm having to really concentrate to keep it still. And then you start to feel it in the calf of the leg that's on the ball because you're trying so hard to keep still. Last one. And then bend that leg, just stretch it briefly, and then swap it with the other foot. So the leg that was on the ball, if it's anything like mine, you can really feel that. It's just really, you know, been contracting a lot. So just give it a little shake. And then we'll do that side. So bring it back in, core on always before you lift, and then point. So push down with resistance, and then half a circle back up. Keeping that other leg really still, just as before. You want to get some breath in it as well, so breathing out, come down, in, come round, or whatever feels good. And then let's add the opposite arm, so both go back and circle round. As well as keeping still, you want to keep that rib-hip connection so your ribs don't pop up in the air. Let's do one more now. And bring that leg down, push it long. Just have the ball somewhere between the legs and do a full body stretch. Excellent. Okay, have your ring to hand. Roll onto your side. And before we do the ring, let's just grab hold, if you can, of that ankle. If you can't reach the ankle, just bring the heel back and then try and just push the hip forward. Just with stretching down the front of that thigh. Lovely. If you have trouble positioning the ring, just sit up to do it. But we're going to have the inside of our foot on the scoop of the lower bit of the ring. Okay, so you just have to play around with it a little bit. And then I'm going to have my top foot. So it doesn't matter if your bottom leg isn't dead straight, if it's slightly bent, if it's easier. It's quite hard to get in position, these. That's it. Or you can put it like on your ankles rather than your feet. So maybe we should do that. I think that might be easier actually, having told you. So do it just above the ankle, it's easier. That's it. Okay. Now, you don't need to do many of these to feel them, so we're going to do it really slowly and controlled rather than pumping out lots of reps. So we're going to come down 2, 3, and up with control. And again, so just count for 3 to squeeze, and then count for 3 to release. Lovely. Now you're not trying to make both sides meet. God, that was hard to say. You're just pushing down to where it feels comfortable. In a moment, we're going to do a hold, and when we do, think about really pulling up the pelvic floor to the 10th floor. Okay, Okay, so release. So now we're going to do our hold. So bring the band in, bring that pelvic floor all the way up, feel the core engage, and then we'll count for another 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and now pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and just release. Keep the bottom leg where it is. We're going to do rainbows, so we're just going to come forward of the ring and lift over and behind the ring. You don't have to touch the floor, you can just hover. And I've already done it, I've rolled forward like this. I want to keep myself on my side, stacked on the hip to make it much harder. Let's see if you can lift right above the circle now and do a 1, 2 in front. Lift, do a 1, 2 behind. Okay, now bend the knee, bring it back for a second, and then bring it inside the band, or the ring. Okay, you'll need your hand down. We're going to do a leg raise. They aren't easy, so I do roll back a tiny bit when I try and do them, because if you're on your hip, you can only lift a small amount. So it's a tiny roll back, lift, and then come onto your side again. Oh. So I mean, you really don't need to do many of these to feel that in your outer thigh there. Well done. Whew. Okay, leave your legs down, keep the top one where it is, pushing against the band, and then the bottom one's just going to come up and down. Bring the leg back to the outside, tiny bit of pressure on it, and then continue to bring the bottom leg up and down. It will be shaky, it might even spring off and catapult across the room, that's fine. Keep it up and squeeze. And then bend your knees and relax. Well done. Okay, coming onto your back, we'll do a glute stretch in a minute, but for now, just bring the ring up and have the scoops halfway up your thighs. Have the feet wide, so just slightly kind of angled, and with your toes just off the mat. And we're just going to squeeze into the band. So this will be for working the outer thighs and the kind of outer glute. Okay, so let's just bring those shoulders down, and we'll do little holds again. So squeeze the knees, the legs into the back. Sorry, I can't speak. Squeeze your leg outwards into the ring and hold for 1, 2, release. And again, bring the knees out, 2, 3, release. Out, 2, 3, release. Wow, I can really feel these. Great, you just do a little pause when you've brought the knees out. Okay, so you can either carry on there, or we can come up into a bridge and do these. So first of all, we just come up and down. So you're going to push through the lower back, come up, and just putting that slight resistance into the ring as you come up and down. So don't let go, don't have it loose. Just pressing against it as you come up and down. Lovely. I'm kind of relaxing all the way down into neutral at the moment, letting my back come forward. Last one like that though, and now we're going to come all the way up and then halfway down the spine and push up. Stay up. Now pulse those knees out again like we did with the bottom on the floor for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1, and release and come down. Oh, brilliant. Just bring the legs out of the ring, put the ring to one side and stretch the legs. Whew. Good, eh? So effective. just have a break from all our instruments for a moment. I'd like to do a combination of an ab curl cross where you're reaching across to the opposite knee, and then when you come back you're then going to reach down for an oblique crunch. Okay, so we're going to stick to the same side, one hand behind the head on the next breath out, then coming up into an ab curl, so then you're going to reach to the side of the knee across the body, come back down, and then your arm is going to reach to the down to the ankle. Okay, so cross over and swivel down. Take your time, breathe out, in, out, in. Combination of these two feels really good. Really attacking the obliques, both sides. You're getting one oblique when you reach across and the other reach down. Okay, now lift the leg that you're reaching across to in tabletop, but the one you're reaching down to stays down. Okay, put the hand back behind the head, so both of them behind the head, one leg in tabletop, bring the other one up towards the ceiling, and then you're going to do a leg lower. So if that's too much, put that bent leg down. You can just have it on the floor. If your head's starting to drift downwards, squeeze the rib to hip, keep up, but without dropping the neck, or the chin I should say. And bring the knees in, head down, and rock side to side. Well done, lovely. Okay, both feet down. If you need a stretch, I definitely do, just a quick one. And we'll do that the other side. Okay, so opposite way this time then, for a reach across and down. So one shoulder blade lifts as you do the cross, but the shoulder blades stay on the mat as you do the reach down. And if the head hurts, you could have both hands behind your head and you could just do the elbow across and like that. You wouldn't have to do the reach. Well done. Take your time, breathe out to reach, in to come down. Okay, the reach across leg's going to come into tabletop. Last set. Both hands behind the head again. Just make sure you squeeze up, lift the shoulders, and then the other leg lower. So if your back's hurting, if you can't keep it down, if it's leaving the mat, then your tabletop leg, bring it to the floor. Well done, superb. 2 more. Excellent. Bring both legs down, bring the head down. All right, so let's roll on to our side and push ourselves up to sitting and then come on to all fours.